Alright guys, what's going on? Man, I really need an intro, I was thinking about that yesterday. We gotta get an intro going, man. It's time we get an intro, right? It's been too long. Steve, what's up, man? What's up, what's up? It's Sunday, it's the 24th. Let's see, we got 1 week of trading left this month. 1 week, yeah. 5 full days. So next week is gonna be an interesting week, man. A lot of the times when we trade, we come in each day, it can feel like, our performance doesn't matter for the previous day, right? The previous week, the previous month. But, you know, it's kind of like a high performance sport, no matter how you did yesterday, it's like the next game is tomorrow. You got to perform all over again. And it seems like at times it doesn't stop, right? That pressure is on to continuously perform at your highest point possible. Um, but it's been a good month, man. It's been a good month, and coming into the next week, it's just a matter of being disciplined and taking it easy, right? One trade at a time, man. One trade at a time. So we'll see what we do next week. But coming in today, Q&A Sunday. I gotta actually update the title of this video, which I didn't do. But Q&A Sunday. Let's go ahead and change that. Q&A Sunday. Q&A Sunday with RT. Elijah, what's going on? Jackson, what's up? What's up? Castro, what's going on? I always get straight to the point. No intro needed. So let's take a look at so it's gonna be the way how the Q&As are, right? Q&A slash study session, right? Slash study session. We can go over some previous charting, previous videos, whatever you guys want to take a look at, we can take a look at. I'll even pull up the metrics. We can look at that as well later on. But let's take a look at, for now, until the questions really start rolling in, I'll go to the monitor screen, come back, and just take a look at some of the chartings that we've had over the last week, right? Going back to the 18th, let's pull it up. Let's see some of those stocks that we traded and just take a look back at the charting and see, what kind of action we really got this week. What was the momentum like? Was the momentum really strong? So we come all the way back. Let's see. We had HUSA, VERU. I remember those two weren't as strong, but CASA does ring a bell. CASA, let's see. That one was a pretty big one, I remember. And CVM. We'll start off with those two, right? CASA. And, well, actually, let's use E-Trade. CASA. E-Trade I find better when looking back and doing analysis. The charting for me is a little bit easier to maneuver. So let's zoom in right here. CASA. So, we can see this one wasn't bad, man. Big move pre-market, push into the open. But this is where things get interesting. We look back at the charting and let's see. So we opened, let's see, 604. And we had highs. See, it doesn't look that good. Highs of 683. The stock went up 80 cents a share, despite all the chop, right? Yeah, this doesn't look that good. Don't trust E-Trade charting because it doesn't show. Let's see. Well, it doesn't show tops and bottoms, and yeah, I agree with that. Mobile, I agree with that, right? Because real time and what he's referring to, I'm pretty familiar with that problem. Real time, when E-Trade's charting is updating, for example, here we'll see on the 18th, right? This big wick, we had a high of 640. Sometimes real time when you're trading, it'll say the high is maybe 620, and of course that's a huge problem when you're scalping at the high of day level or looking for the next candle to make a new high or the breakout trading in general. And in fact, fun fact, I had one of my biggest losses when I used to trade live on E-Trade because of that. I came back later in the day, and the entry that I took, I was wondering why did I take the entry, only to come to find out later on that the charting wasn't updating properly. So I basically bought in a random area thinking I was buying that new high. How do I feel about the overall market and how that might affect day trading. So good question there, right? As we're looking at CASA, the overall market, what's going on overseas, it seems like things, despite the war going on, it seems like things are kind of calming down a little bit. But of course, we know recently with big tech coming under some fire, with Netflix, Facebook taking a big hit, those two stocks, are not looking good right now, man. I mean, look at this right here. This is just absolutely awful. And if we pull over the daily chart here for Netflix, the Dow, as we can see it right here, we finished down at 981 points. I mean, that's pretty significant. So Netflix, back in 2018, 2019, I mean, I remember this right here. This was just so impressive, man. 2020, the stock does 100%, going from lows of 289, I mean, more than that, 574. And now we can see big cliff dive, man. I believe they lost about 300,000 subscribers. It's actually not even a crazy amount. Well, I guess dollar amount does add up, but these companies will have issues with growth, man, and it affects the overall market. Sometimes it does trickle down because the volume will sometimes go over. The algos are a big part of what day trading is, because a lot of the times, think about it, there's breaking news, and immediately as the headline hits, the stock is flying up. You ask yourself, who's that first person that's buying the stock? It's usually algos, and if the algos are looking at the large caps, then there might not be as much volatility in the small caps. So there's some sort of correlation, although not huge, right? Usually we'll still see momentum, because if a company comes out, a good catalyst, we'll see some volume. But Mo, good question there. On the level 2, what are the color codes? Red seller, green buyer, white. Your answer. Thanks for Robert. What's going on? So on the DAS platform, it's those three colors, right? Green, white, red. So green usually will be, well, no, not even usually. Green is buying at or above the ask price, right? So if I pull up the level 2, although we're not, I guess I can use a live stream video from Friday rather. That way you can see volume going through. Let's see here, videos. Let's pull up that live stream. Mute the audio. There we go. So now I'm using E-Trade, and my color codes are a little different. It's a little different because I have blue instead of white, but same concept, right? And those three colors, green, buying at or above the ask price. And right here we got a spread of 84 by 85. Individuals are buying 85, 86, and even higher. So we're seeing that green print on the time and sales. Red, usually selling at or below the bid price. And for me, I don't have white, but I have it in blue, which are all the market orders that are going through. And E-Trade is a little different because they'll actually show you these arrows right here, and the arrows are a little bit confusing even at this point for me. But the way how it was described was that when there's a green arrow going through with a market order, the price is basically getting filled towards the ask price, and vice versa for the bids. But E-Trade shows the arrows. Most brokers will just have it in those three colors: red, white, or green. We'll have the market orders, the buying at the ask, and then of course the bids. And of course, not just buying at the ask, but selling at the ask prices as well. When we really get into level 2, right? Because as we know, we can buy at the bids and sell the bids depending on what you're trying to do. But yeah, that's what we're seeing there in those color codes. So whenever I'm looking at the time and sales for entries, I'm buying as green is going through, buying on the ask, which is why a lot of the times on Thinkorswim, I get higher fills. Now the broker's already a little slow, so once I'm buying and there's a bunch of people buying, I get that high fill sometimes, and we know there's other ways to deal with that, right? So yeah, white is between the bid and the ask price. Yep. Let's see. Taking place on the ask, red taking place on the bid, right in between the spreads. Does the DAS platform? So Jackson is asking, does the DAS platform has a color coded time and sales? Yes, it does. I'm not logged into the DAS platform right now, but it does have the color code. It's a little different. It's similar to what Lightspeed has, but it looks pretty good. It's a little fast. The mighty scalper Marcelo, guys, if you're tuning in and watching on in the stream right now, be sure to check out Marcelo's channel, man. Marcelo in the Discord, go ahead and post the link. Let me repost it there, or if you can, post it straight into the YouTube stream, man. Guys, check out Marcelo's channel. He's posting recaps every day, man. Every day of his trading, and he's completely just destroying the market. So be sure to check him out. It's pretty insightful, you know. It's like I love to see the recaps because despite already being profitable, I'm still a student in so many ways. So whether it's Ross or someone right here in the community, it's always good to keep learning and seeing what you guys are doing and helping me to be better as well. So check it out. Check out his channel. And be sure to leave a good thumbs up when you guys watch the videos, man. It goes a long way. Dane, the other day, but wasn't sure if I heard the answer. Who do I think is the best trader that I know right now? Dane is asking. Dane, big shout out to Dane. Who do I think is the best trader right now? I mean, it's hard to say because there's so many variables, so many factors that go into trading, and how do you really judge someone's trading? Is it the dollar amount? If we talk sheer dollar amount, I mean, there's a lot of traders that are. I mean, there's a lot of traders, man. I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Umar. I believe he trades options strictly, but he does some crazy numbers. Matas, I follow his Twitter. His P&Ls are just absolutely insane. Like there's his P&Ls is like nothing below 50K, red or green. $1 million P&Ls on some days. I mean, it's insane when we look at the dollar amount. But there's more to trading than just the dollar amount at times, right? There's different situations that might lead someone into taking bigger sizing in their career faster than others. There's a lot of different circumstances, so it's really hard to say who is the best trader. I don't know if there is a best trader. We're all good in our own rights, right? So that's how I look at it, but there's a lot of good people out there. Mohammed, would I advise you to quit your job and start trading? It's a good question. No, I would not advise anyone to quit their job and start trading. Trading is like any other business out there. It takes time to learn. It takes time to get good. And, you could put yourself under a lot of pressure financially and emotionally. Just, cold turkey, leaving your job. I'm not sure if you have, let's say 6 months or a year of savings build up to be able to trade and not have to worry about financial, bills, those type of worries. But trading is the type of thing that you can do as you're doing a day job because, and depending on your schedule, of course. If you can trade the open, and some people will even trade the power hour instead, you can work a full-time job and still day trade every day. I've done it whilst being a full-time student. I've done it whilst working a full-time job. So it can be done. So that's what I would recommend. Do it part-time, and then, maybe if you get to the level where you're really excelling after a few years, then, at that point you can make the decision for yourself. Hollywood, you want to send me a message? You can definitely hit me up on the Discord. I'll post the link if you want to check it out. If it's a long message and you really want to chop it up, we can even do a voice call on one of these days throughout the week. So I'll post the Discord link here in a sec. Let's see. What do I think about the Thinkorswim scanner? Stefan is asking. The Thinkorswim scanners aren't bad. I had made a video a while back talking about the Thinkorswim scanners and what they offer. You guys will see on the left-hand side of the screen right here that Thinkorswim offers some scans. Let's see. You'll come over here to the scan section. It's decent, but there are other platforms out there that are better, I would say. Now, if you're someone who can't afford a platform at all, geez, I can't talk. A scanning platform at all, then it's your best bet if you're already using Thinkorswim. The quotes are already embedded in the broker. which is a bit of a plus. And you know, it can serve well as a gap scanner to some sorts, but I find that Thinkorswim is best after the market opens. That way you can get everything in a nice percentage order and really see what's going on. You can filter for your liking. There's different different tabs here that you can use to filter out and see what might be best for you, you know. But it's not bad. I have a couple of them set up here, and they work out all right. So let's see. Robert, you day trade every day with me. I appreciate it. Did I miss any questions there up top? Jackson, let's see. How do you analyze a stock before adding it to the watch list? That's a great question. Let's come back up a little bit. What I'll try and do 40 seconds to a minute for each question. That way I can keep flowing with the chat. So good question there. How do I analyze a stock before adding it to the watch list? So there's a couple of things that I look for, right? Let's say I pull up CASA, right? I look at the daily chart first, right? The way how my monitors are laid out, it's almost as if I'm reading a book from left to right. And I start off with the daily chart. Hey, is there gap to fill? Like if I pull this stock up right now, I'll see that it's selling off. It's back below the 200 EMA. That's not a great sign. Hey, is there breaking news? How's the volume looking? Is there a lot of attention on this stock? Is there a lot of traders looking at it and exchanging shares? From there, I come into a little bit more of the technicals, right? If there is a decent gap fill going on, and you know, recent stock would be like VLON, you know, this one here was curling up off the lows, and you know, the question I would ask myself, hey, what is the next level, right? Where is there room to? I'll see, okay, the 200 EMA is at 503, and the high of this ridge before this big drop off is at 250. So can we break 250? If we do, there's some room to the upside there. If it really opens up, maybe the 200 EMA. I'll zoom in on the 5-minute chart, the 1 minute. From there, start to see what type of patterns we're forming, what type of pivots we're forming, and I'll get ready for the open. So daily chart always is big. You know, what type of levels are we going to be attacking? And from there, I move on over. I look at my level 2, see the volume, is there news, and so forth. So when we do talk about the level 2, though, there's something that I also look at there, which is the spread. If the spreads are too big, then it's a stock I might want to avoid because there might be too much risk associated. So once the spreads are tight and everything is checking out with the volume, it's not bad. Mister, what's going on? What's up? I'm coming back down here. Robert, let's see. Mighty Scalper, what is my favorite setup? My favorite setup will have to be the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, man. The first 1 minute candle to make the new high. How long do you think beginner's luck can last? Usually beginner's luck lasts, and this is just me just throwing a wild guess, right? Because no one will really know. But beginner's luck is usually like on one trade, man. Sometimes people will come into the market, or maybe a string of trades in a short time frame, right? Because the number one thing with the market that will separate the profitable traders from the traders who are struggling is consistency. And you can be consistent for a short time frame, whether a day, a week, maybe 2 weeks even. But with the way how the market is, no one is going to be lucky for more than 2-3 weeks, man. It just isn't. It's not going to happen. So, that's what I would say. For that right there, beginner's luck. Just maybe 2 weeks. You got a little bit lucky on some of the setups, and but other than that, the luck runs out, man. What kept you going when your trading wasn't doing well? Good question, man. Good question coming in from the Mighty Scalper once again. What keeps me going when things are getting tough, when times are getting hard? For me, and this is before, I'll take you guys back. Before I was profitable and I was struggling every day, what kept me going was just that determination, man. That hope, the hope and the vision that I saw for myself, which was to be able to be in an area, and I'm still not there yet, even now, but there's this vision. It's almost like I have a dream sometimes where I see myself with a glass in my hand. I don't know what I'm drinking. Hopefully it's not rum or anything, but I have a glass in my hand, and it's like I can see the house on the outside. I can see what the yard looks like. I have this vision in my head for it's been there for years now, and when I'm struggling, that's what I think back to. It's like, you know what, man, you know, things are getting tough, but they, as they say, the tough get going. You fall down 8 times, you get up 9. You dig deep. You fall back on who you are as a person. And for me, even this besides that vision that I have, I've always been the person that's been trying to keep going. Whether it's in sports, in school, with gaming, you know, trying to find a way to be better, actively working. I remember when I first started playing soccer in high school, man, I was terrible, when I first joined the track team. But you got to stay motivated. You got to keep pushing yourself no matter what, man, no matter what. And for me, that's what it comes down to. Just pushing myself. Even like, to be honest, even now, like I was thinking about the stream. It's like just now I'm like, man, oh man, I wanted to lay down so bad and just kind of relax for the afternoon. But the successful people are not going to be relaxing all weekend long, man. We gotta grind and we have to work hard. Like there's nothing that comes easy. Success is a lot of hard work. When you listen to all of these guys that's successful, man, from the Will Smiths of the world to, I mean, all of them, man. You get to Robert Kiyosaki, all of these guys. It's one thing that they say always. Well, let's say a few things, right? Consistency, dedication, and hard work. And so we got to keep grinding, man. So let's see. Moving on. Let's see. Next question. Take it easy. Marcel, take it easy. Or should I say the mighty scalper? Take it easy if you are heading out. Elijah. Let's see. Would you say if you can control the loss and not let them get bigger, then what should it be? Why is the comments is kind of moving here? Hold on. Okay, there we go. What should it be that it can make the difference between profitable and not? Trading it sometimes is so hard because we have a lot of control, but sometimes the market will do certain things that will throw off our plan. It's like Mike Tyson would say, we all have a good plan coming in until we get punched in the face, and a lot of the times it's how we react to those, mishaps, let's say, or just on the unpredictable nature that the market could have at times, right? Because there's days where it's so smooth, man. There's days where we can come in and it's like everything that we planned just all worked out so well, and it's like it's an awesome day. The next day you come in, you plan to do X, Y, and Z, and then A, B, and C tends to happen, and from there, it's all about how you respond to the unexpected, man. Because when things are going well, things are going well. We're seeing smooth sailing. We're respecting our stop losses, all of that stuff. But for that unpredictable nature that's there, that's where we got to really be careful and be, our best, right? Be our best when things are going tough. That's how we're able to stay consistent. Yeah, Robert, man, soccer, track, a little bit of basketball, but not formally. But track was formal, soccer was formal. Um, I was pretty active, man. I was pretty active. I enjoyed playing sports. Gus is asking, do I have any other jobs, or am I a full-time trader? So recently, about a year ago, I used to work at Amazon. Now I was listed as part-time, but the way how the building was and the shift was, I was essentially full-time. I was there at least 40 hours a week. So I was working full-time about a year ago and also trading. But since then, I've been trading primarily as my main source of income, right? Trading right now is my biggest source of income. There are other things. There are other ways to make money. I had mentioned to you guys that I used to sell rum. I'm not doing it as much, so that's what I'm saying used to right now. But that turned a really good profit as well. Um, I was thinking about this on my drive home today, about the streams of income that I have right now, and the way what I'll say is that the way how trading is listed in the books, it's capital gains, and capital gains is technically, you know, you being unemployed, right? That's all I'll say. Whoever will take that hint and see what I'm getting at there, you guys take it and run with it and see what you can do. All right. Let's see. Money doesn't make you happy. Uh, yeah, I agree with that. But you know what we usually hear is that people who've been poor and rich, they would say they still prefer to be rich. You know, and the saying is, I would rather be crying in a Bentley than to be crying on a bus, right? So money doesn't make you happy, but you know, I would say it definitely makes things a little easier at times, right? When we talk about, you know, this financial capitalistic world that we live in, having some money, having a good amount of money that can make things a little bit more smooth, right? You still got to be healthy, live a healthy lifestyle. You still got to be, you know, well off with your relatives, your family, and you know all those other different things like that that will come into play, that will add towards one's happiness and you know life. So let's see. Moving on. Uh, is my family supportive? Good question there, man. Uh, Mark. Well, no, not Mark. I how am I gonna butcher? I'm gonna butcher this name here. Mac. Is my family supportive? Such a great question, man. Trading is such a unique field. My mother doesn't really understand what this trading thing is. And they'll see on the news, hey, the market is down, blah 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 blah. But I guess I never really had that conversation even to this day. Like I've told her at one point how much money I've made and how much money I saved up at one point. Um, and you know, it's just so hard to really get into that conversation of what is trading really, you know, to bring them into and give them an insight into this world. It's so hard to explain. It's like if you're not doing it, you know, if you're not doing it, it's just so tough, you know, and it's why traders kind of come together as one because you know we can't really go, you know, and it might be a wife or a brother or sister and really talk to them and them being able to understand fully what we're trying to get to. You know, it's so unique to field, and my mother's old fashioned, man. You know, go to school, get a job, you know, work every day, receive a pay. Um, so even to this day, whenever I go see her, you know, it's like, you know, when are you gonna go back to school? Um, I don't know if I'll ever go back to school, man. I'm not against school, but you know, when we talk about education, you know, what I've done here is this is a form of education. It's just not, you know, through a formal university, right? This here isn't randomness, right? This is an education, as well, right? Whether it's and even if you look at someone like Ross with Warrior Trading, right? There's a full on, you know, course right there, right? All the other big traders with the courses, but uh, it's always tough with family and trading, man. They know what's going on, but it's just weird. That's how I would say it's just weird. No way. I'm working at Amazon too. Amazon, I got like a Amazon is like good and bad for me. You know, I enjoyed it because of some of the people that I've met there, and somewhat the work was engaging, right? But the company and from the higher levels trickling down, it could be so much better, but there's so much greed going on in the world. You know, when we talk about salaries, the hourly wages, and the level of work they expect you to do in certain positions and situations, is it just was kind of crazy. Now it might be different in corporate, which I doubt, but in the warehouses and management in the warehouses, things are kind of crazy. Do you recommend to borrow money for trading? I have a full video out on that where I talked about borrowing money through credit cards to help fund my account. Now, in terms of recommending it, that video was me saying what I did, right? That video was saying what I've done in the past to help get to where I'm at now. But in terms of recommending it, it's not something I could really do. You'd have to really sit down and look at your own situation and understand the risk. And if it's something that you go through with, accepting the risk and accepting that if things do not go according to plan, the adjustments that you'll have to make in your life to be able to continue living and at least being at the, where you are now, right? Because it could be very devastating. And I'm going to do a video throughout this next week or either for next Saturday talking about the ugly truth of day trading. And if I can, I'll try and get people to come on to talk about their experiences, because it's it's a very sad, there's a lot of sad stories really. Like when we talk about, you know, the family savings money that's been lost, the divorces. There's a lot of things with trading. Of course, when as human beings, when we have losses, we don't go and brag, hey, I got divorced because I was trading and X, Y, and Z. But those stories are there, and I think it's good to bring light to it. For those people who are willing to share, I'll ask around and see who I can't find. But it's tough, man. It's tough, and it needs to be said out loud. When we talk about the risk in trading, and the success rate, right? 1 in 10 is the saying, right? 1 in 10, and there's different ways to look at that, right? But that's the saying, and we definitely need those stories to be out there, let people know that it's not easy, right? Max, you love trade ideas. Trade ideas, the scanning platform. eTrade Pro used to have trade ideas scanners built into the platform. I had a good experience with it there, but depending on who you ask, some people hate it. Some people, it's kind of one of those things. You'll always have people who are in favor of it. Some people who they don't really like what's going on. I think it largely depends on your trade style. Babylon, you worked at Amazon in 2014 to 2016. We all got kicked out at the end. It was a nice time though. Amazon policy looks a bit better than 2015. There's going to be some kickback. There's been in the news recently one of the sites becoming unionized, which I haven't followed up on the story, but I've heard something there. Maybe that becomes a little bit more widespread, because if there's a union, then of course the workers will be treated better over time. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm looking through. So Savage, right, Drift, you can check out that video. It's called Credit Card Arbitrage. And it's recent on the channel. Let's see. Guys, if you're watching on right now, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. The Q&A is well in swing. We can go until 6, maybe 6:15, 6:20. A nice hour here. And we can do some studying towards the end of it too. Robert, you used to play poker. Also fun time. I've heard about professional poker. I used to follow this guy called Dan Bilzerian. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. This guy lives a very extravagant lifestyle, and had played poker to raise his funds to start investing in these types of things. And poker, I don't know, man. I prefer to trade, man. I prefer to trade from what I know of poker. You guys know that gambling is a term I don't like to use. I don't like to use that term at all. But there's a lot of similarities between poker and trading, I guess. It's a competition, and if you're very skilled at what you're doing, I guess you can see success. So in some ways it's similar, but when we talk about poker versus trading and investing, investing is looked at very differently from poker, right? Investing have led the Warren Buffetts of the world, like and actually this is what I'll say: investing and trading is very different from poker. Not to contradict myself, not that I'm really thinking, because at the end of the day, we're looking at companies, hard assets these companies are brick and mortar in a lot of situations. They provide a service or products or some sort of sales, right? And they there's something physical there, something tangible. And we as traders, although we're day traders, um, we look at these companies, and when we look at, especially into investing, we look at these companies and we make educated decisions whether or not these companies will be successful, whether that's in a short time frame or a large time frame. So I guess there is that difference there, right? Right, trading or investing into tangible assets at the end of the day. Apple, I mean, even stocks like VLON, right? Netflix, these are tangible companies that are somewhere in the world that's doing something and making an impact. So in that sense, it is very different from poker, but there is some similarities. So you can do a lot of research in a company, and the company can still fail. And because there's not that level of 100% certainty, as in collecting a check or salary, people will look at trading as a form of gambling, which I would disagree with. GT, do you have a video of you day in the life as a trader? Yes, I do. I actually have one of those videos on the channel. And over time, as more things come up, especially in the summertime, because the wintertime sucks. When it's cold outside, you just want to stay inside. But I do have one of those, and I'll post the link. You can check it out once the stream is finished. Robert, I hear you, man. I haven't done it professionally, so I can't really say, I can't really say, but Drift, why do I choose to be a scalper? Coming into the market as a beginner, I gravitated towards small caps, penny stocks, and scalping because you didn't need, and to this point in the grand scheme of things, you don't need a lot of money to be able to see a good return. And there are days, right, where you guys will see me using a couple hundred shares and can see, a few $100s of profits, right? And so the idea of day trading is, hey, you can take a small amount of money and see a good return because the stocks are moving up X amount of percentages. And on a day-to-day basis, that might mean 20 to 30%. That's what we see on average. And then from there, when days are really good and hot, we see 80, 90, 100. When things are crazy, 2, 3, 4, 5, 600, we've seen stocks do 1,000% in one day or over a few days, 2, 3 days. That's why I gravitated towards scalping and day trading penny stocks, because of that statement there, right? That was attractive for me because with investing and swing trading, you can see money, but when we talk about especially these blue chip stocks, the great stocks in the market, they're expensive, right? Amazon, $3,000 for one share. Now you can also look at the options, but coming in, I wasn't too familiar with options or anything like that. So, being that penny stocks are moving up 100% so often, can I capture a small piece of that pie with a few strategies, with some strategies? That's why I gravitated towards this. And since then, I've gotten so used to it, right? Now, when we talk about growing, becoming better, educating ourselves, I always want to, and it's been in my plan to eventually get into long-term investing, right? Creating a portfolio. So the education isn't going to stop. We're going to keep learning and keep growing. Let's see. Any ideas on Amazon and Google earnings? Earnings have been a little bit mixed, although we've seen some good. Yeah, it's been a little bit mixed, with Amazon. Amazon, man, Amazon. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. I don't want to say because there's no way of knowing for sure. Facebook and Netflix had a hard time. So we'll see if that weighs on the momentum. But if their earnings are good, the earnings are good regardless because of course, the numbers are already set in place. I will just see how the market reacts to it. I'll post that day in the live video right now before I forget, by the way. I might, so let me do that right now. Channel, it's somewhere here. Day in the life of a relentless trader. I apologize for all that keyboard mashing. Jeez, where is it? I can't find it. It's somewhere here. Is it in the stock related playlist? Relentless topics. There it is. I'll have more of these videos, man. I'll have more of these videos in the summertime. Summertime is just so much more encouraging, man. You know, for the content. It's nice outside. You can always go to the park and film. Is there any, Jackson, so that's a good question. Is there any way to trade this strategy with options? I've had someone tell me, I've had one of you guys tell me that it's possible, it can be done, and people are doing it. And of course, you guys know the options contracts, you can see more gains, right? Now, I haven't done that because in terms of scaling, there's just so much more for me to scale in terms of share size now, you know. But it could be it could be something to look into, man. If I don't ever want to trade, let's say I come to the decision that I don't ever want to trade with a commission based broker, because we know Thinkorswim can only handle so many shares. You got to get to Cobra Trading, Lightspeed, some of the faster platforms if you're going to really be taking 10, 15, 20, 30, you know, and up from there, right, in terms of shares. But I've heard that it can be done, although, you know, I haven't really seen the content on it, right? Which in that case, if there's that person out there, you know, can we see a recap, right? Can we see one recap of what's going on with that to give us a bit of an insight, all right? Victor, what's up? What's up? We're doing a bit of a Q&A, and we can do some studying towards the end. I was thinking, Arcane, you do a little bit of poker. You play a little bit of poker as well. It's similar to trading. When we get into the probabilities, yeah, I can definitely hear that. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And of course, check out the Discord, right? The Discord is usually pretty jumping during the week. Whenever the live streams are over, we're in the Discord chopping it up, talking. Price locates experience on CMEG. So Jason, if anyone is familiar with CMEG, you guys can hit up Jason. Let him know for CMEG in terms of those locates. Has the new Momo Scanner been helping me with trading, accurately notifying me? The new Momo Scanner has been good in a few ways, right? When we talk about halt notifications, it's been very good with that. There's usually an alert that will come through letting me know when a stock is halted, and when it's very helpful when I'm kind of done and I'm away, right? Because when I'm here, I'm pretty attentive to what's going on. I'm paying attention to the scans. I'm, you know, looking at the Discord, the stream, so I'm not really missing much. If I even if I don't see something right away, I see it, you know, in the next couple seconds. And so when I'm kind of laying down and kind of relaxing and something starts to move, gets halted, boom, the alert starts to hit. It gives that notification. It's a sound as well, right? You can also have it be a voice, and the voice can actually call out the ticker for you. That's been pretty helpful because I can get back up and type in the stock and see what's going on. And last week we had a, you know, slow start to a lot of the days, but when I did the recap, you know, I'm big in the green. It's been helpful in that situation. It serves really well as a good gap scanner when we come in. You know, although I will say for people who, you know, as we mentioned earlier, someone had asked with Thinkorswim, and I'm not sure with some of the other brokers like E-Trade right now it sucks for a scan. Like, you know, let's hold on. Like what I have here is this watch list, but in terms of like a gap scanner, the list of scanners that they provide, well, list of stocks that they provide on some of these scans in here are just not good, right? They got a couple of these exchanges, so Philadelphia, Pacific, New York, Nasdaq. Like when I look at all of those, I'll be missing the leading gappers from the day, and it's like this is like not much. Thinkorswim you might be able to get by, but it definitely helps out as a good gap scanner. Now with high of day momentum scanning, this software is very good for swing trading, investing. When we talk about high of day momentum scanning, that's where I think it's a little bit on the softer side, because my high of day scans sometimes will give me stocks that are a little lighter in volume. Right now, I do know I can continue to tweak and make the adjustments, but I would say on those fronts we're really strong, and then the high of day scanning is where we could use a little bit of work. But so far so good. The experience has been pretty good, and I love the alerts, man. The alerts have really been helping me out on those days where I'm kind of just falling back and not watching. So you'll get the voice alert and the high low ticker. There's a good high low ticker, and they have a news tab which is good. So and I'll pull it over here. All right, let's pull it up. Of course, the market is closed right now, so not everything is going to be showing, but the watch list is in there, and this popular tab isn't bad. When I come in, looking at this right here, we'll get a good view, like ATER, VLO, like all the stocks that are being talked about will usually be here. So this in itself serves as a watch list. I'm not sure if there's other platforms that provide this. Maybe there's a few out there, but I haven't really been in touch with like Stock Twits, and I mean there's a bunch of different ones. But coming in, having it in one place definitely helps out. I've also been using another tab that's been pretty helpful. One of the guys in the Discord had sent this over to me. It's called Instant SEC, and this right here helps us to see, like I'll put in VLON. It helps us to see if there's a shelf registration going on. And when we talk about the filings, right, the S3 filings, when we talk about secondary offerings, that's pretty good to let us know, in holding these stocks into halts, what we can potentially expect. Because we haven't seen them in a while, but when the secondary offerings start to come back around, it'll be devastating to hold into halts, because stock might get halted at $10 up, let's say 50-60%, and resume at 5 after 20 minutes. I mean, it's been awful in the past. And for me, scalping is one of my biggest risks, is getting caught in a secondary offering. So yeah, the discovery portion, once again, serves as a really good gap scanner, and it can be tuned. So depending on what you want to see, you can filter out. So the Momo Scanner has been helpful. It's been a good addition. I look forward to continue using it over time. I've been talking to the CEO actually, so in terms of feedback and insight, that's been great, right? There's been a couple of things that I've mentioned that was already implemented into the platform, which was good. Those guys are good coders, man. You can tell that the background in software engineering. Like there's been a few of you guys in the Discord who worked as app developers and these type of things, and it's so interesting how you guys view the market. I mean, it's so different, man, and different isn't bad, right? Different is good, because you guys are some of you developing algorithm. I mean, it's just insane. Some of the conversations I've had with you guys here in the Discord, just insane, man, and the stream. So yeah, let me get back to some of the questions here. And we can do a little bit of studying as well, guys. We can look at some of the chartings from last week, and what we might need to expect for this upcoming weekend and so forth. Thinkorswim, by the way, is good for shorting large caps, right? Small caps, not so much. Let's see. Moving on down. Jason, you've done well with options, so that's pretty good. Also, I'm a good-looking guy, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. What am I looking for on the level 2 for an entry? Great question there. Let's pull up that stream again. Let's pull up that stream again. what am I looking on for on the level 2 for an entry? So, and I wonder if this is if I wonder if at 936, let's see, do we have 936? Is that an ad? No way, that's an ad. I have ad block on, so I don't get ads. Let me see. We're currently at 40 minutes. Let's come back to 936 here. A couple minutes back. I want to see if I caught this on the stream. Let's see. Hold on. We had to trade off the lows. I want to look at the scalp trade because it's a little bit different. Yeah, I don't think I caught it on the stream, unfortunately. So let's come back to 40. We can go back to other days too, but I want to show a live example. It's a little bit better. So right here, I'm MITQ. We have a 5-minute pullback. First 5-minute candle, make a new high. Before I take the entry and I look at the level 2, it starts with the charting. I do want to mention that, right? There must be an entry on the charting. Right here, there's a pivot at 77 where we had resistance, and you guys will see 80 is the high of day level. So I want to see the stock break and hold above 80. So this is actually a good example. I remember. So let's come ahead a little bit here and watch this play out. So over 77, can we break that level, the first resistance, and can we start to hold above the level of 77 and push through 80? I know the red on the screen is a little saturated. I have to figure out how to fix that. So look at the seller that's at 77 right here, by the way. It's in green, so it should be able, you guys should be able to see. 113,000 shares. That's a big seller. That's an aggressive position, man. That's someone with some big share size sitting in there and wanting to get out of the stock, right? Taking profits or maybe going short as well. We buy up those shares and we made a high of 80, right? Well, look at this. So we rip. 77 was resistance. We hit 79, 80, right? 79 right there. Look at this right here. Look at the selling pressure that's about to come in at 77. Hold on. Let's let that play back again. It breaks. Look at 77 right here. You see the red that's going in? Selling at the bid. So right here I'm trying to decipher if it's going to be a false breakout or not. That's what I'm looking for right here. Is this going to be a false breakout or not? Because a lot of the times when we're getting the false breakouts, the stock will come above the level. And when we start to see selling pressure at the bids right at that same price point, we flush down. So if this was going to be a false breakout, we would have saw 76, 75, and just, maybe drop all the way back down to 70, like what we had on this red candle right here, actually. So it holds, and as green is about to come in right here, and I'm late. Notice how late I am getting in. And it's disappointing. This entry was disappointing for me because the price jumped up. It just jumped from 77, right? And I'll let it the whole thing play out right here so we just get a better look at it. Right? And it's disappointing because, I wanted 78, 79 for the entry for the push up there to 85. 77, 77, 77 green. And I'm a little late. But getting filled at 84 right here isn't good. I'm in at 83.50. I'm in at 84, let's say. That's not good. But the good thing we have going for us is that we're not going to get a false breakout. It's very rare now, a much lower chance of the false breakout happening, considering that we tested the level of 77 and then surged in volume right there. If this was an ideal trade, I would have gotten in at 78, but the price just jumped up so fast. So I'm looking for green to come in on the time and sales, buying at or above the ask price as we're testing those key levels like that. There will be days where the resistance is not as strong. So as the stock is coming up, instead of waiting for it to get above 77 or 80 and holding, I'll be long at 75, 76, or 77, getting in earlier, anticipating the break of the level. So what that would look like, of course, is me getting long right here as this volume is rushing in. Green is coming in on the time and sales. I'll be getting long. And well, being that there's a big seller right here, I'd wait for those shares to move down a little bit. Hey, can we buy up, let's say, 80,000 shares, right? If this drops down to like 40,000, I want to be buying around that area. 100,000 is still a lot. So let's wait for it to be bought up some more. As it comes down, I'll be watching. Because there's days when you see how it's dropping here from 16 to 13 to 98, right, to 95 to 79. And I'm guessing there's a huge buyer that goes through, or the individual canceled the rest of the order because we just rip right through to 79, right? And we can check. Let's see. We can check. It's why it's also good to have your time in sales be a little longer. That way you can see more of the orders going through. But there's some big positions going through right there, man. But we ripped through. The person might have canceled the remaining balance of the order, so we just ripped right up. But I'd have been long in that area right there, and looking now for the move to 80, 85, 90. So the trade ended up working out. I'm in. There's 84. It comes up to 87. I take the couple of cents. It with 1,500 shares, so every penny is $15. But I would have wanted to fill at 78. From 78, it essentially would have been a 10-cent trade. I would have been in and making around 150, let's say, you know. But I got the higher fill, so it wasn't as good of a trade, but still decent, nevertheless. Right, this is the amount of money I used to work an entire hour to make. So, you know, making $30 here, what is that, 3 cents, you know, making 3 cents, you know, 2 cents in a couple seconds. You know, I'm not gonna beat myself up too much, although we would have wanted that better fill. If you got sponsored by DAS, you could recommend they add a background color option to the tape. No. The DAS platform does have. I can't pull. I'm not signed in. I don't want to sign in here on the stream, but the DAS platform does have a color coded tape. That's not why I'm not using it. I'm not using it because the orders are slightly different, and it's a huge adjustment. Sometimes, guys, sometimes the smallest things can throw your trading off the rail, man. And buying on the ask, Ross does it though. I know Ross does it. Buying on the ask and selling on the ask is very different from what I'm doing now. Right now, I'm using market orders, and the DAS platform, the market orders there are filling you on the ask when you're buying and filling you on the bids when you're selling. And so it just is not. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because there's some days, and most days, where it would go against me right now. Can I adjust to it? I think I can. And if I do, I'd probably be using more share size and less trades. But right now, my system is working really well, right? Let's say E-Trade Pro tomorrow becomes obsolete. Let's say E-Trade decides, hey, this Pro platform is now, you know, I know they have Powered by E-Trade, which is like a newer platform. Let's say they get rid of E-Trade Pro. Now, at that point, I would do it because, you know, now I have no choice. My strategy can't work unless I now have to adjust and evolve again. But right now, the strategy is working well. With what I'm doing now, you guys still see those huge green days. So it's a matter of just keeping it up and being consistent with the discipline, right? By the way, if you guys are interested in the Mometic platform, I do have a code here. You guys can check it out. I need to do some. I've been talking about doing more videos. You guys saw that video on Saturday. Saturday wasn't an efficient day for me, man. I came in. I wanted to do 2 to 3 videos. I only got 1 done. I brainstormed a little bit for the other ones, but we got to get back into more of the educational stuff, man. We got to get into more of the educational stuff. Well, Jason, the marketable limit order with the offset. The marketable limit order with the offset. I guess it is different from buying on the ask, right? In fact, on the DAS platform, I have the order set up like that in pre-market. Well, I guess all the time, but I only use it in pre-market right now. And that's so I don't get any partial fills. But I hear you, man. I hear you. The marketable limit orders. And for those who are not familiar with it, the marketable limit orders allow you to buy and you can specify a price different from the market price, up or down, where you're willing to accept a fill. So let's say a stock is currently at $5. You can say, hey, I'm willing to buy this stock at 5, anywhere up to 5.05. So you can put a 5-cent offset. So that prevents you from getting big slippage if the stock is flying up really fast. And it's really good for stocks like around $10, $15, $20 with those bigger spreads that are moving up crazy. And we know, if you're a little slow buying, especially if you're using a market order, you can get filled maybe 50 cents higher sometimes because they're moving that fast, right? That's what the marketable limit order can do for you, is limit your risk when it comes to slippage, right? And with Lightspeed, because it's a direct access routing platform, more than likely you'll fill your entire position before your offset price is hit. That's kind of the goal right there. Saquon, you're surprised that I don't get lag on Thinkorswim? I do. I don't know, man. Thinkorswim, I guess, is designed for more so swing trading and investing than day trading. Like for example, Lightspeed is for day traders, right? But we have that commission that's there. Thinkorswim, I've noticed some delays in my trade on Friday in the afternoon, and sometimes it'll happen in the morning. Maybe it's not as noticeable at times where I'm buying and I'll see my order outstanding for like a half second longer than it should be. I'll be hitting buy. The order's like it's floating in space before it finally connects and it's connected to the market makers and gives me the fill. But in terms of extreme lag, I haven't had any major issues with extreme lag in a while. Although I know in the first few minutes it's more likely to happen. I do stay away from the first 2 minutes of the open, first 3 minutes sometimes of the open. But in the past, I've had days where I'm buying and the order is not getting filled for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And I was recording all those days, so I was able to call in, tell them to, hey, check out my YouTube video at this exact time, which is like, let's say 10 seconds before I hit the buy button. And they can see that I'm buying and nothing is happening. And because I have the evidence, they have to refund me, right? They have to. These brokers are making money. Don't be fooled. These brokers are making a lot of money. They can refund everybody when those issues happen. But of course, when those issues happen, it's much more than just the issue, because there's the opportunity cost. Sometimes it might scare you away from taking other setups that are coming, and that's happened to me as well. So there's a bunch of things that's going on there that we don't want to see from Thinkorswim and the other platforms. Just wanted to make sure you saw the post, Elijah. Yeah, man, we got to be careful with the lag. Yeah, I did my math. I did the math on, I think Thursday. Was it Thursday? On the amount of money I'd have to pay on commissions, and it was like, I think that day I was green 400. I think I'd have to pay like 200 or 300. I took a lot of trades that day though, but still, commissions, man. Oh my God. Thinkorswim used to do, for those of you who are new, Thinkorswim used to do 750 in, or no, 695. 695 in, 695 out. It might not sound bad, right? But $12, right? $13 really. $13. I don't know, 695, $14. $14 before you even get in and out of your trade, you're down $14. For those of you using really small size, of course, $14 will be devastating to your trade. For me, $14 is not going to be bad, right? When it's just a few trades, 3 trades a day, 5 trades a day, maybe even 10 trades a day, and I spend $140 in commission. But, what it forces you to do, you'll have to be taking bigger size and less trades overall. And the way how I'm trading now, is that an adjustment I can make over months? I think it's something I could do. But the way how my style is right now, there's a lot of getting in and getting out it's like high frequency trading. So imagine how much that would like change my trade style. I'd probably go flat or even red for months before I can connect on now that style of trading. It's a difference. It's not a huge difference, but it's a difference, and we know the smallest things can make our trading go out of whack. So, but it was madness, man. I can't even imagine. I wouldn't have been trading the way how I trade now with commissions. I remember being in the sim, and that's one of the reasons why I became profitable a little faster than I actually um, was expecting, is because I was green in the simulation gross, but not net. Net is, of course, after commissions and fees. And so I was green gross, okay. Without commissions, I'm green. And then, literally, for me being at that point for about 2 months, that third month, the news came out, hey, I think 2019 or 2020. I think 2019, no, 2020, October, I believe, of 2020, zero commissions, man, for all the big brokers. What a day that was. Oh, for the option for the wait. DAS does not have a background color option for the tape. Well, unless you're saying it's just strictly the green, white, and red, but on the tape we do have that color code there. Unless you're talking about the options chain. I'm not too sure, Matthew. How do you count the 5-minute candle on Thinkorswim? Let's get this down. It's currently 6:10, guys. We can do another 15-20 minutes, and the questions are slowing up a bit, so we can get into a little bit of review, I think, for the next 20-30 minutes. So I'll answer the last couple of questions here, and we can get into some review. The 5-minute candlesticks, and this chart in the bottom right hand corner right here is a 5-minute chart. Now, keep in mind that the candlesticks are telling a story. The candlesticks is a representation of the performance of the stock over time, and you can watch the performance of the stock of the companies of the stock for every 1 minute. Hey, show me what this stock is doing every 1 minute. I want an update every 1 minute. That's what the different time frames represent. And so for this, the 5-minute candlesticks, hey, every 5 minutes, show me what the stock is doing. For VLON here that we were looking at on Friday, when this first started off, breaking news came out around 8 a.m. We can see every 5 minutes, you're from 119 to 160, right? Not bad. The stock rips up, and from there, we go 805, 810, 815. We got all the way to a high of 221. So every 5 minutes, we're seeing the performance of the company. And from these candlesticks, of course, we can get different patterns. Right here, a bit of a topping wick, which isn't good, but we do end up holding the VWAP, and we see a bit of a pullback. And the first 5-minute candles making the new high right here for a breakout to the upside. So from 208, we get to a high of 230. So there's a couple of cents in there, right? Depending on your share size, you can see a couple of cents if you're taking any shares and getting aggressive in there. Silver 4K. Let's see. So Nate, love the videos. I appreciate it, man. I do appreciate it. I've been trading on and off for the last 4 years, and I'm down around 4K overall. I struggle with holding losers too long. I have a 60 to 70 win percentage, so that's excellent there in terms of the win percentage, man. I dream of those numbers, because right now I'm around 50%, 51% in my win-loss ratio. So excellent there. And so in terms of holding the gains, the losers too long, right? There's a couple of things that people really say in the community. One, is either you're getting emotional because of size. So ask yourself, is the share size you're using right now a little on the higher side? Is it big share size that you're using that's making you feel that urge to say, hey, you know what, man, I need this? Because we hold, when we talk about the psychology of it, we'll hold losing trades because we're hoping for stock to curl back up, whether for our break even or small green or even high of day, whatever it might be. But the psychology there is, hey, can we curl back up, right? And so it's like you're getting attached to that trade. Is the position size too big? That's one question to ask yourself. Um, Other than that, what was mentioned there from Silver 4K is pretty good. Use a stop loss in terms of a hard stop. Sometimes we'll have bracket orders or trailing stops where the broker can sell manually for you. Most of the times it'll get you out of the trade. Let's say like 90% of the times, unless there's like a really bad flush where the market makers move all the prices out of the way and the stock kind of just, cliff dives. But other than that, bracket orders and trailing stops, hard stops on the side of the broker could help you. So depending on your risk, and as you guys know, for every trade, every single trade that we take, we must have a profit target, and a risk, right, and a well-defined risk in the trade. Usually the aim is 2 to 1. Hey, if I'm looking to make 10 cents in the trade, I don't want to be losing more than 5 cents. And that can scale, of course. Hey, I'm looking to make $1 share in the trade. I don't want to lose more than 50 cents. You have that 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1 ratio. So once your risk is well defined, you could look into using those order types. And other than that, emotionally, you got to train that muscle of discipline, man. You got to do it once. Cut your loss that first time, cut your loss that first time. And from there, you keep at it every time, and what you can do is also maybe set a bit of a punishment anytime you break that rule and not cut your loss right away. So what that might mean is, like I know Ross used to cycle, right? It's like, hey, I broke this rule today. I have to cycle for at least 2 miles. Something that, you're holding yourself accountable, right? It's almost like a safety net. It's like, hey, you know what? I don't want to be going and having to do 50 extra push-ups today. So, I'll keep that rule in place and keep it in check. But, that there's different ways, right? For some people that might not work, for others it might. But there's different things you can try. Try putting different things in place to help you manage that risk right there. Let's see. Yeah, we got to keep the discipline. We got to be brutal with the stops. We got to be very brutal with the stops. For me, all my stops are on me, right? I do it mentally, mental stops, manual stops, right? I'll click the sell button myself. The way how I look at it, and this is kind of my punishment. Whenever I hold my trades too long, I deserve to lose on the trade. It's how it's in my head. That's how it works. It's like, all right, and on Friday, was it, no, Wednesday, I came back. I was down $420 on the day. It was a good red day, right? It was a successful red day. I came back, ended up taking a bit of a wild trade. It wasn't the best quality setup for me. So you know what I told myself? You deserve to take that loss, because at the end of the day, when we break our rules, we're losing our respect for the market, right? And the market is, in a lot of ways, is like the ocean. It's vast and it's unforgiving. And so if you don't take the necessary precautions and the next necessary steps, you're going to be bound to take on some water. And that's what happened to me. And when I do break the rules and hold trades longer or revenge trade, the market will correct me in my ways always. And the days where you do something wrong, you break the rule and something good happens, let's say you hold that losing trade and the stock happens to crawl back up for you, that right there is gonna lead to a bad habit. And eventually the market will correct you in your way. And sometimes it'll happen when we're averaging down and we're not supposed to. That first time the stock crawls back up, we feel pretty good. The second time we average down, maybe with even more size. And what the market does is let us know, hey, averaging down, hey, RT, averaging down is not a part of your strategy. For doing it again, I spared you the first time. For doing it again, here, take this. Boom, That's how I kind of view it. But we can put different things in place to help out with that. Ricky, that's how Ricky got strong. That's interesting, man. Nick, you're learning how to not hold too long, and I'm guessing you're referring to the losing trades. That's good. So guys, I know we know the title is Q&A, but I'm gonna do a little bit of review just to see, kind of refresh my mind what we had last week and what to expect for this upcoming week. So VLON was a stock I was looking at. We got asked about Netflix earlier. So VLON, when we come back here and we look at the 5-minute chart for this stock, we can see pre-market was very strong. In fact, pre-market was stronger than the open. Look at that. From lows of 119 to a high of 244 in pre-market, but into the open, we start to struggle. And I took a $200 loss on this stock because, my share size was big. I had 2,500 shares in the trade, but I was expecting a pullback here, a short pullback, and I think I could have done without this trade. It's sometimes hard real time to know, but I expected a tight consolidation. If I pull up the drawing tool right here, let's see. I expected a tight consolidation. So we had highs of 57, and the half dollar, of course, was at 50, where this white line is. We got a high of 68 right here. I expected a quick flag, right? For those of you who are familiar with the bull flag, if you're not, this is what it looks like. Picture your standard flag, right? Or your country flag. Let's say here in the States, we'll see the flags looking like this, flagging on, or maybe a little bit of a triangle. So I was looking for a bull flag. Hey, can we come up here and can we hold up on the highs, right? So a bit of a pull and then a consolidation. And I was expecting the flag to hold above 50. Right here in this candle, we had a low of 52. We bounced back up, and I'm in at 55. We bounced up to a high of 57. I'm up a couple cents. Right here, I'm looking for us to hold this level here at 50. Instead, it flushes down to 43. So once it breaks 50, I'm out at 48. And we proceed to go to a low of 34. So this tight flag up here that I was expecting did not hold for the next move to the upside. Can we flag and then get the next breakout to the highs? Did not happen. So, trades off the lows is secondary for me, right? It's not my bread and butter. Scalping is usually what I do. So I was thinking if I'm going to take a trade off the low to start the day next week, I can size down to half size or maybe even less to just get myself started. Small green trade. And if it happens to be a losing trade, it doesn't put me down as much, right? Because $200, being down 200 is a decent amount to be down, right? Even big share size or not, right? I'm trying to adjust to it, but we want to start green. So looking to protect myself there. That's one thing I was thinking of coming into the new week. So our open was not strong. Look at this, man. This was our leading gapper up 100%. It sells off. It curls back up, falls break, and just, for the rest of the day, flat and sideways. So not good for VLON. When we come back over to Thinkorswim, we had CVM and CASA as well last week. So let's take a look at those two. CVM, how did this one do? Well, we can look at it on this chart. Oh yeah, this one was later into the day. CVM. And, volume came in out of nowhere, right? Volume literally came in out of nowhere around 11:30. So later in the morning, let's get rid of this. Let's see. So sideways, no volume. And out of nowhere, volume absolutely rips in. And we've been seeing the daily charts all last week where we're curling up off the lows and getting opportunities. So stocks that are beaten up, stocks that are, and this seems to have had some reverse splits, which is why the price seems to go on and on. E-Trade's daily chart doesn't show the reverse split indicators, but yeah, we've gotten beaten up recently. I mean, look at this drop off here, right? Big drop off. We've gotten beaten up and curling off the lows. I've heard someone say in January, one of the viewers, that this is usually a sign of weakness, a weaker market to come, because usually we want stocks that are at the highs making higher highs, right? All-time highs versus 300, the 52-week lows curling up. But anyhow, this is what we've been seeing. And so, I spotted that. There's room to the 200 EMA at the time, which was up there at $8. Although, you know, we might not get that high. So when the volumes were ripping in, we dial in and we start to look at the setups. And I was scalping this one into this area here, I believe, around 11:45. I had missed the first two setups right here and right here. So when I'm watching these stocks real time, can we get a high volume move and then the first 1 minute candle to make the new high? This goes from a low and real time, because we're seeing, you know, the 2020 after effect, which is the entire move. But real time, you know, when we're looking at the stocks and the candles, we're looking at it like this. So real time, these candles seems to be a little bit bigger, right? And we have lows of 398 and it goes to a high of 415. So this is a good break of the whole dollar, right? We had 413 for highs. So if we put a bit of a trend line right here, let's grab a trend line, horizontal. I can never find it. Okay, here we go. And we'll come down in size a little bit. Let's use yellow. So we had highs at 13. Look at what the stock does. Look at this pullback right here. Guys, isn't this a perfect pullback? It really is. Think about it, right? So we had 157,000 shares right here, and we hold very tight at that level of 13, and then over the high of 16, we get the new high, and look at how the volume is coming in even more down here. Volume is ramping in, and so from 16 we get a high of 30. So let me, with 1,000 shares, if I'm watching at this stock with 1,000 shares, and let's say right here might have been a little too early, but let's say I was looking at it there and I was looking for the break and hold above the whole dollar or four. And we mentioned earlier the two situations where I'm usually getting long once the charting is lining up when we're looking at the level two. Either I want to see the stock break and hold the level for the long, or I'm getting in anticipating the breakout for the entry. So, you know, getting in at let's say 397, 398, and seeing a move to 410, guys, that's 13 cents with 1,000 shares is $130, right? And so it does it again over 16. We go all the way to 30. It's another 15 cents, 16 cents. So there's another opportunity in there to be making 150. Now let's say we don't make the entire amount. From 15 cents, let's say we make 8 cents, 9 cents, because I always calculate in case, you know, we don't capture it perfectly, but it's $80 right there. And then we pull back, and not only do we pull back, but we pull back and we hold above this previous high of day level. So this provides an opportunity right here for dip trades, getting in. You know, if we had a low of 14, let's say you're in this at 15 or 16. Low of this candle here was 09. You know, this is where we can get into the stock with about a 7-cent stop. Now you're holding longer in this situation. For me, how I look at these trades off the lows, you can get in with a 7-cent stop right here to 09, and your profit target, of course, is back at high of day, which is at 430. Now it's not quite the 2-to-1, because if we're risking, well, from 15 to 30 is 15 cents. So I guess, yeah, there's a 2-to-1 right there. There's just about a 2-to-1 in there. So we hold a low 14 and then we make the new high again. So this is a miniature bull flag, right? Look at this right here. It's a miniature bull flag, right? Now the move is starting here, but picture it like this, right? We're curling up, and then here's the flag, right? And we can use it. You can use a different color, so it looks a little bit better. You just use blue, right? Despite this candle being here, just picture this candle, you know, being extended up, right? Let's add on to this candle right here, because the move is still coming from the lows of $4, right? So we're curling up, and then here's the flag, right? So where's the entry? Of course, if you're not already in at the lows, there's two entries. You can watch the 1 minute candle to make the new high, which is at 20 coming across right here, or at the highs of 30. Now on days where it's more choppy and things are just not as certain, I will wait for the high of day level. But oftentimes when the move is strong very early and volume is coming in, I want to be long here if I'm not in the trade off the lows, if I miss the entry. So next week, you guys can guarantee that I'll be looking for this same type of opportunity off the low or at the highs as the stocks are coming up. So we get a nice move from 30. We hit 44. Once again, there's another 14 cents. You know, once again, and we're not gonna say, hey, we're gonna capture all 14 cents. If you capture 8 cents with 1,000 shares, it's another $80. And I was scalping this stock with this stock here with 1,500 shares, and at times I was buying twice. So I was in with 3,000 shares, and getting about 10 cents at a time on some of the trades. This stock I ended up doing very well, and I think this was the one I was able to do $1,700 on last week, right? Pretty crazy. So it curls up, and I should have been recording. Whenever I stream and I'm done, I'll start to record the trading after, if I come back right afterwards, because there's no need to not be recording, especially if something happens with lag. I can have evidence, you know. So I was thinking that'll be the right move, and that way when this kind of thing happened, I can have the video to post to YouTube. But anyhow, as we go to 50, and then look at this pullback here, man. So if you're coming to your computer screen and you've missed all of this move already, let's say you've missed out on a good 4 entries. Here we are on another quick doji candle, man, and pay attention to the volume here. Volume, high of day volume is now at 590,000 shares on a 1 minute candle. So we dip down in volume, quick doji at 42, and when we make this new high again, it's another level to attack right here, right? And picture the flag, right? Don't lose sight of the flag. When we bring up the drawing tool, you know, it's as if another flag comes in. So there's the one right here. Another flag is well, let's move that down. There's another flag that's forming right here. It's not as big, it's not as long, it's not as drawn out, but it's a quick 1 minute pullback, right? The quick 1 minute pullback, and then move higher up. So right here again at 50 for a break of 54 and the retested highs, we push to 67. And then from there it dips down a little bit, it retests and comes down and does a retest. It retests the level of 50, it holds the $0.50. So you guys will see on the trade where I took that $200 loss in VLON, you know, this is kind of what I was imagining happening. You know, the day started off well, the stock was strong pre-market. It's why I don't beat myself up. It's just like, okay, maybe next time I reduce size, you know. I'm not going to beat myself up for that entry because it works. But in that situation, I don't know what happened, man. The stock was just so weak for the rest of the day. But we curl up and we get a move up here to 75. So this is the type of momentum that I want to see, man. Nice moves. It pulls back here again, lighter volume pullback. We had highs of 75, and then the first 1 minute candle to make the new high. Once again, the flag doesn't have to always be as visual, right? We have to think about where the flag is. And again, although this isn't one big huge green candle right here, right? This is still another flag, right? It's still another flag again, and then over the high right here as we break out over 66. So you can see how the entries are coming over and over again when the momentum is smooth, you know. So it's from this very first approach down here, the history is repeating itself over and over, although it might look slightly different. We had 3 candles here, we had 3 candles here. This one was just 1 candle instead, and then it rips up. This time when it dips down, it wasn't even a red candle. The candle instead, right here we had a quick red doji, right here, red doji. This time it's a green doji with a little bit more body, and you can see even more volume once again. So this stock is gaining volume as it's going, and now we got a high of $5.11. So look at this, right? And let's see if I took this trade. Let's see if I took this trade here at what's this, 11.49, 11.48 at 466, 11.48 on what stock is that again? CVM? Yeah, CVM. 11.48. You can see, well, so this is, they're looking at the level 2 at the time. I'm in and I'm back out. So it's a scratch trade the first time, a scratch trade the second time. Let's see, in at 66. Sometimes with the level 2, that will make it tricky. You know, it's that the wave of selling on the bid is coming in, but we're holding up though, right? So sometimes You know, the longer hold time could work out, but we got to be very careful how we alter the strategy for different stocks. But anyhow, you can see I'm at least attacking the level here. I'm in at 70, out at 72. Here's a much better trade. I guess as the candle is starting to really like open up and rip. So here we go. In at 73, out at 83 for 10 cents. And that's where we can start to see the gains, you know. That's $100 right there in this trade. And now I didn't get to do as well around 60, but you know, right, so let's see. That's around 11:45, 11:48 as it came back up on the move. So, you know, these are the areas that I'm watching and looking forward to being aggressive when the stocks are coming up real time. So this one was pretty good. That's CVM. I can say this one was a decent stock versus VLON. We ended up coming up all the way to 533, then 578. It gets halted, and then we get a high of 614. So from the beginning of the push at 413, we go to 513 and then 613. So we get $2 a share, and it happens between 11:30, let's say 11:35 and 12 o'clock. So 30 minutes of just upwards trajectory, upwards momentum. This is ideal for the style. I didn't get a lot of big gains in there, but you know, the smaller gains add up. So moving on, next stock, CASA. I think I had a harder time with this one. Let's move on. CA drawing. Let's clear off the drawings. CASA. So looking back at last week, you know, a lot of the momentum was coming later in the day. CASA. Come on, what's going on? E-Trade. It's lagging a little bit. So pre-market, it's not bad pre-market. Let's see. 98. So a low of 398. Curls up two highs of 548. Pre-market, man. I'll be trading pre-market this week that's coming up. And I'll have to really, you know, come back again and check out these chartings to see where it is that I need to be aggressive. And it's a little different because of the fills, but I think it can be done, man. We're seeing other traders doing it, so you know, there's a way, right? There's a way, but I have to find it. Look at the difference in this stock here, man. It's decent pre-market, we could say, but look at the open, man. Just look at this. Is brutal, right? This is absolutely brutal. So when we do talk about that 1 minute candle making the new high, I did take an entry right here, I believe. So, you know, can we see the flag, right? We can see the flag, but the flag isn't good because the wicks are here. Big wick, big wick. It's showing a lot of indecision. We have a high of 633, a low of $6. You know, then we drop down to 596 and it rips back up to 620. And all of this is within the 1 minute time frame, so it's moving very fast, right? We hit 630, 640, and it rips back down, and then it fails miserably over here. So when we check this trade right here, when we have a big wick like this, I've been very aggressive despite the wicks because we've been seeing the stocks being strong. But if we're in a situation where the market is slowing down again, I want to avoid this trade here 100% of the times. When the market is so hot where we'll start off slightly uncertain because of that extra volatility, you know, and still push. If that's the trend, okay, I'll still give this candle here a chance. But if this becomes frequent, I don't even want to look at this stock when it's moving. So let's take a look at that trade there. 933, 932 on a CASA. I think I took it, right? Let's see. Yeah, 932, and I sized down to 500 shares. I'm in at 27. The candle making the new high is at let's see here, at 20. So I'm already late on the entry, which isn't good. Or was I waiting for 30? I don't know if I was waiting for high of day. I can't remember exactly, but ideally I want to be long before 20. Can I be in this stock here at 16, 17, 18 as the green, as that high buying volume is coming in on the time and sales? If I was, 10 cents at 500 shares is $50. If I'm in it at 18, 19, we do get a high of 30. there's 10 cents in there. There's an opportunity to make that $50. So, I can't remember exactly real time. I mean, we could look back at the stream to see if it was on the stream. It might be worth a look. Let's see. But let's for the time being, let's check the monitor screen again. So we're in at 32, at 26. We're out at 28. Only $10 on the trade right there. All right, 2 cents. Let's see. Well, no. We're in at 27, out at 26. So a loss of 1 cent actually. We attempted again, and then we attempted it again. So at three attempts, all in that time frame and all losing trades. And this is how the losses can add up quickly, especially with the bigger share size. So this wasn't good at all for CASA. And when we look back at it, I want to find the stream here. I want to take a look at the stream. Why was I trading this stock? What was I looking at? So that when next week comes along, we can avoid these type of trades if we see similar movements. This is on the 18th. So let's go back here to the live stream. Content. Let's see. YouTube Studio. Content. Live streams on the 18th. Where's the date? I can't find the dates. Where's the dates? Okay, there it is. On the 18th. There we are. 25-minute long stream. Why did I stream for 25 minutes? I can't remember. Was it such a weekday? Okay. I didn't stream. Actually. Yeah, I don't think I streamed this day. This might have been the day where I had that headache. And then yep. Let's check that. CVM, same day, was it? The 18th. The 8th, yeah. So this day I started the stream later in the day when I came back. So, but anyhow, I was looking at the charting. I think that's enough evidence right here in our face, right? The charting for CASA, right? We don't need to we don't need any more. I guess we'll use E-Trade. We don't need any more evidence. Once it's this choppy, we stay away. It gives a huge red to green right here, and this trade, I got blazed right here. I remember this one. I got absolutely obliterated on this one. Let me check the comments, by the way. I haven't looked at the comments in a long time. Let me see. What do I do at the gym? Chase, yeah, every stock moves different, but when stocks like CVM comes along, it's a very familiar feeling for me. And when there's stocks that are strong but hard to scalp come along, I can tell, right? But there's days where I'm just stubborn and I'm optimistic that I'll be green. I'm optimistic that the breakout will happen. And so I keep trying regardless. That's where I need to have more discipline. Right here, we've been seeing some really good red to greens throughout the week. And I told myself, if the stock gets back above 6, I want to be long for a quick scalp. Now, I'm looking at my other monitor, which is up here. I look back down, we're already above 6, and it's at 615, 618, pushing. We had a high of 20. So I changed the trade. I wanted the break of 6, which means I would have been long at 99, 98, 97, somewhere there for the entry and a quick move out. Being that I saw it late, of course, I switched to the other strategy that I use, which is, hey, can we break the level and hold above the level? If we do, I want to be long. So it dips down. I want to see the stock holding above 605 for a quick retest, because usually we're seeing profit taking over the levels. We dip down, and not even 6 and 605, more so 610. Can we hold 610 and then curl back up? I think we came down to a low of 609, and volume started to get back in. I was long. It hits a high of like 11 and immediately just flushes. I stop out at 95, and you can see it goes all the way back down to lows of 574. This blazed me, man. This was just not a good feeling. And when it curled back up the second time, look at what it did. High of 616. It dips down and holds a low of 604 and rips all the way to 650. When I saw this happening, I'm like, there is no chance that I touch this stock, because here I expected something like this. we have a bear trap. It rips back up, high volume. And so when this happens, there's no way I touch the stock. I think I might have attempted a trade here, but didn't see much. I might have attempted a trade here for the 1 minute candle, making the new high, and right here. So when we go back into that bull flag once again, this one is actually picture perfect because the pole, we don't have to draw the pole over here. The pole is already there, so we can put the triangle up top right here. Can we get the flag? But right here, we need this candle to rip through the highs. So can we see a better push right here coming up? Some stocks will need a longer consolidation. Okay, cool. And so we flag. If I take this trade and it's a scratch trade or a small loss, small gain, okay, no problem. I'm willing to give the stock more time. So once again, picture your country's flag going sideways, right? Or the triangular version of it. That's what we're seeing right here. This is a beautiful bull flag. Okay, it's a little choppy in here, no problem. Some traders will be attacking the lows and then selling into the highs. All right, for me, I want to see it go sideways and then make the new high of day level. So when we get the flag, can we make the new high of day level? And that's what this candle was right here. But volume isn't high enough and it fails miserably. We had highs of 49. We had a high of 50. We break out by 1 cent and it rejects. This is disappointing right here. And this is where, for me as a scalper, I have to be so careful. And it's why a lot of the times I'm so quick selling on the trades, because at the level, think about this. As a scalper, I'm buying in some situations, if I'm not getting in on the lows, I'm buying the highest point. And when this candle here comes along in this area, it's where I'm doing well. But when this candle right here doesn't come along and we get this flush, that's where there's a problem. And you don't want to be the person buying here and selling here, right? That's no good. So when people are selling very aggressively, we're in an area where I'm expecting to see a lot of buying at or above the ask. It's why sometimes you guys will see me getting in and out so often. But I think it's worth it, right? I think it's worth it because I'm protecting myself from the risk. When I'm in off the lows, I'll hold for a few minutes at a time. We'll let the trades play out, no problem. But buying at the highest point possible, looking for the next move up, we got to be very careful doing that. So it rejects, and these are big flushes from 650 to a low of, and we can pull up the crosshairs from 650 to a low of 617, guys. With 1,000 shares, let's do the math, and let's do it on screen actually. So it's a little bit more transparent here. Let's do the math with 1,000 shares, right? So from 650, right, less 617, right, 33 cents in there, right? Now 33 times 0.33 times 1,000 shares, right, times 0.33, 1,000 times 0.33, $330 loss if I'm in there with 1,000 shares at the high at 650, if I'm holding through this entire flush, and then we go to a low of 610. So if I'm caught in a trade, my rule is always to sell. If this flush is happening, sell. That's my rule. Now, if you guys ever see me averaging down or anything crazy like that in a situation like this, there's situations where I can average down, although I don't like doing it in breakout trades or scalp trades. We went over the very first stock of the day, forgetting the name already, but that entry at 184, when the stock dips to 180 right there, I could buy 180 because I'm very confident that we're not going to see a false breakout because we held 177. In this situation here, if I'm averaging down, I'm just hoping for the best, and that's not my style. Hope is not part of my strategy. It's to cut the loss, and then I can always get back in somewhere else. So this would be a pretty devastating loss, because on average, I'm just looking for 10 cents. So to lose 30 cents, man, it's pretty crazy. So we curled back up. And so was there opportunities on this one? Yes, but it was very difficult, man. So we got to be careful. And CASA, I don't think I really had touched it back after that had happened. Let's see, CASA. Actually, no, I got back in. Let's see, 956 area. Let's see, 956. See, I did attempt this 1 minute candle making a new high right here in this range. These setups, there's no way that I don't attempt these setups. These setups are just too much of what I look for to avoid, or to not take. I'm surprised that I wasn't in at 10:04 because, let's see. Well, I was in at 10:04. 35 out of 38. In at 57 out of 55. In at 59 out of 57. You see this right here? You see how aggressive I am as a trader? And it's for good reasons though, right? But like I said, we just want to see this candle right here at 11 happen sooner. So I'm getting in and I'm watching all these levels up there, man. 50, but the high, well, I guess E-Trade is not updating properly, even I guess at this point, unless I'm looking at the wrong time frame. 650 we're seeing as the high of this candle here. But anyhow, yeah, so you guys get the point, right? Very aggressive towards any A quality setup that I see for myself. In some situations, they just don't work out as well. But when they do, in situations such as CVM, we can see how strong the scalping strategy is. So CASA, I got to be careful with this kind of a stock. If we're seeing any choppy candles like this Monday morning, no way, Jose, man. So we got to be careful. Maybe trades off the lows and then, from there. So when I'm doing my study sessions, when I'm coming back looking over these chartings by myself, these are the kind of things that I'm looking at. Sometimes I'll rewatch some of the streams. I'll check out what's going on there. It's been a good week. Let's check out a little bit of the trader view, and then we can look to shut it down here. We're about to be pushing 2 hours. So it was a very solid week. The only thing about the week is that I would prefer to have 4 green days, man. Friday I did come back in the power hour, but nothing. So I ended up giving back like another $10 because I was down $2. Finished the day down like $12 or maybe $14. I don't know. Do you guys remember January and February for me? Do you guys remember those months when I did that video saying don't panic? That better days are ahead. For me, I'm always staying confident. To kind of end it off on a positive note here in terms of motivation and encouragement. We're going to see rough days, man. We're going to see rough days. And, I always like to go back to October of 2020, man. October of 2020, my worst month since going live as a trader. So look at this right here. Look at this, man. Just look at this downward spiral, down 3,500 on the month. $1,000 red day. Look at the amount of $500 red days. 450, 550, 508, 4. I mean, it's so much money to be losing, man. And right here, my share size isn't that big. Just not good, man. So things will get tough. January and February of this year isn't the last hardship that I'm gonna have to deal with as a trader, right? I posted my poem. I posted that video that I made a while back, which on Friday's stream, which was, hey, poem to my next red month, right? And am I gonna have another red month as a trader? It sucks to say yes, but it's the truth, right? But I'm a realist. Am I gonna have another red month at some point? And I'm hoping that it's few and far apart, right? That's the key. If we're making mistakes, right, and when we get on a micro level, if we're making mistakes, we want them to happen few and further apart and far apart, because we're not perfect, man. We're not perfect. We're only human. None of us are Superman, or when we get into like religion, we're not any of these divine people. So we make mistakes. It's what it means to be human, right? So we just got to try our best and work on our muscle of discipline to reduce the amount of mistakes that we make and the frequency in those mistakes. And so this was just too many mistakes too close together, really, because even now, you guys was like last week, there's a $500 red day, right? Now it was a successful red day, but it's under much different circumstances with the bigger size and that type of thing. So when we look at this month calendar, I mean, just look at this, man. Just look at this, guys. I took days off right here. Took days off right here. I just couldn't stay away from the market, but this was the right mindset. If I'm gonna be red, let's be red with small share size till I figure this thing out. Because I was up so much on the year at this point already, I could have afforded, to be red and still work my way through. And I could have even sized down even more, right? I was importing my trade a little differently. It's why the total number of trades is a little bit on the lower side. But this is the right way. I was very comfortable with these losses. Hey, I don't mind, paying my tuition in a sense and figuring this thing out with smaller losses. And even if I needed to reduce more, I could have. But back here, I wasn't on the right mindset, man. The kind of mindset I had on this day right here, I remember me, RT. There's no way I can't get a green day. Guys, we're not bigger than the market. We will never be bigger than the market. Once again, the market is like the ocean. It's vast, it's unforgiving, and so we have to approach it with a level of respect. And when you go and tell the ocean that, hey, today I will catch a certain amount of fish. For those of you who've seen the deadliest catch in all those shows, it's like, there's different seasons, there's different timing, and sometimes when your strategy isn't aligning, you have to slow it down. That's the best thing you can do. Slow it down, man. Because I would have wished, man, even this money would have been in my pocket even now if I had only slowed it down sooner. The first week, 3 big red days, 468, 1,000, 508. Coming into week 3, or if we want to say week 2, I should have already known small size. Why was I still using big sizing coming into week 2? So that's the thing that will help us out, right? So stay motivated, more motivated no matter what we're going through. And when we clear this out and we come back to this year, January 1st to February 28th of this year, the first 2 months, guys, look at my P&L on the year for the first 2 months. My accuracy is lower. My average winning trades versus average losing trades is much closer together. It's not quite that 1.5 to 2 to 1 that I'm looking for. I'm red every day for the most part in terms of the aggregate numbers. And so, I'm telling myself, hey, we've seen this before. Don't panic. And when this is tough because, let's look at the last 2 months coming into the new year, right? This is tough to deal with, right? Mentally, look at this. Just 2 months ago, it's just, this is the market for you. And we can go back to that same red month in 2020 and look at 2 months ago, 2 months prior to that red month. Look at this, 2 months ago, 240 a day, good numbers. We've seen like we had a big loss somewhere, but that's all right. Things were going good. We were green across the board Wednesday. I don't know what's going on Wednesday, but this is solid, right? And let's look back at that number, right, guys? This is why we got to stay motivated. We can't allow the trading to throw us off balance, man. The red days, we can't allow that to throw us off balance. Let's look at July to September, 3 months prior, right? Oh, hold on. 3 months prior to that red month, guys. $8,000. You're trading very well. And September. September was very slow for me, right? So if we go to August, the numbers will be much higher, right? Well, actually, no, not by that much. I guess June was probably the better month versus July. But anyhow, you guys get the point. The numbers were very good, right? The numbers were very good, and we're coming in to the fall, and out of nowhere things slow down. So that's the market for us, right? It's not like a traditional job where if we work 40 hours, we'll get our hourly rate or our salary, depending on if your salary or not. It's a business, and there's a level of how do I want to say this? there's a lot of uncertainty at times, right? With businesses, all businesses, even the Apples of the world, different quarters, in terms of earnings, the numbers might be up or down. Likewise with trading and our P&L. When we look at my equity curve, where is it? Win loss expectation. Here, perfect. Let's zoom in on this, right? Just like a where is this thing, man? Or do I have to zoom in like this? I guess it's not quite working. Oh, there it is. Yeah, just like a stock, right? The equity curve is kind of just, up and down. And the main thing is that we're going in an upwards trajectory. This right here is that red month. All-time highs, red month. So we got to stay strong, man. Stay strong, reduce size. Because when you reduce size, you can figure it out going sideways. My nose is getting so stuffy. Hold on, I'll be back. 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Man, you know what? It's funny because I have this huge orange right here. There's a meme. I don't know if you guys saw the day in the life video, but there's a meme with me looking at an orange, and the meme is, I want a girl to look at me the way RT looks at his oranges. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the meme, but I thought that was pretty funny. Shout out to our guy Marcelo once again. But anyhows, this is what it's all about, guys. We gotta dig deep. The tough times are gonna come, and this is what you see how it looks on the charting. The tough times are gonna come. So what did I do, realizing that things are slow? And let's zoom out right here, right? Let's zoom out. This is what we have to continue to do always, right? Let's get to 100%. At the beginning of January, the market was slowing down. I was being overly aggressive, I want to say, overly aggressive. And look at this. You see this right here? 691, 769. And I said, okay, we got to start to ease it down. It just happened that this Monday we had a great afternoon because the morning was slow, so I had some good trades. But, you can see things just kind of slowed down for me, man. Things kind of slowed down. It was a battle, man. It was a fight. Red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green for 2 weeks. Green, green, and then red, red. So 3 weeks straight of back and forth battle, and I just can't figure it out. Versus when we go back to a month ago, we're seeing more consistency. So finally, we got a stretch here, 4 days of green, which is good. And then we went into February, and it didn't really get that much better. Red, green, red, green, red, red, green, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. Finally, on the 22nd is where things kind of got better. And this is where I was adjusting my hold time in the trades. My hold time had started to go down a little bit from about 15 to 20 seconds to about 5 to 8 seconds in the trade. And that's what's helped me out into the new month. And so this wasn't a smooth transition either, because when we come back to the detailed section and we go back to the win-loss expectation, I had mentioned in a monthly recap that I expect to see a flat top breakout right here. Now, was this a flat top breakout? Essentially, and a bit of an ABCD, even if we zoom in a little bit more, right? A little bit of an ABCD in here, right? But I broke out, and it's almost as if I had a false breakout. So we got up to 62,000, and then boom, right back down, sharp drop off. And this was when we had PIK. I tried to size up, but I was still holding a little too long in the trades. Guys, there's some trades when I go back, I'm up 10, 15 cents, 2,000 shares, and I'm not selling. What am I doing not selling up $200 in one trade like that? Holding for a bigger move, 20, 30, 40, 50 cents. The stock comes right back down. We're having a hard time. And, I had some family stuff going on, so mentally I kind of didn't want to come back in. I missed LLL and NSPR, I believe, and some of the other stocks that week. If I go to the calendar, we'll see. So this is the story that this equity curve is telling us. And then it's like, all right, man. That Friday of that week, I made a vow that when I come back in, I'm gonna get back on track, man, because the momentum was picking up. right here we had INDO, HUSA, IMPP, all the oil stocks started to come along, and then we had PIK, a few other stocks, ALLG, guys. If my mental state of mind was just on par, man, I those days would have been $1,000 days, man. So it's just disappointing that things kind of got out of whack. But you know, there's always going to be another stock, always, regardless of anything that's happening now. Whether you're struggling right now, whether you're a beginner right now, and you're thinking, man, all these stocks that I'm missing, guys, the market will be here forever, man. Unless the world blows up or something crazy, and we go back to just hunters and gatherers, or we're fighting for our survival with some sort of crazy apocalyptic kind of, you know, sci-fi kind of thing. The market will be here. Remember that. The market will be here. So when we have these sideways period or a red period, understand that all we have to do, the key thing is to just go sideways. If we're going to be red, we need to be very small in the red. We can't afford to be here at 60 and then drop down. And if we go across, what is that, 50 or 40? Yeah, we can't drop down till to 50 or 40 to then try to curl back up. We got to keep it small in the red or sideways as best as we can, and then move forward again, right? That's the key. So I encourage everybody that's out there, whether you're profitable, whether you're sideways or you're red, just keep that in mind, that the market will be here. We just got to keep grinding, keep adjusting. The key is to actively try to improve, right? You got to be proactive. You can't just hear, hey, I'm going to show up tomorrow and trade, and I didn't study. Like, think about it. It's a competition, right? It's a competition, and you can't be outworked, right? You can't let, the guys, for those of us here, we are relentless traders. Think about it this way. We can't let the humble traders, we can't let the warrior traders, we can't let all those other people outwork us. So we got to make sure we do our homework. We got to study. We got to come back ready. We got to come with a good mindset. If trading is going on Monday morning, why would I go out on a Sunday evening? I did that last year once, and man, the amount of rage that was in my mind, in my head, because I don't know if I traded. I think I didn't trade because I was too tired. It's like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking, man? I mean, I guess I wasn't thinking at all, really, right? But we have to respect the game. We have to respect the game. We have to work. We have to work hard. We have to work hard at working smart. And we got to continue to actively find ways to be better. And that's how we'll continue to improve, man. So, one day at a time, one trade at a time. Don't stress it, but let's make sure we put in that work and not cheat the process, right? We can't rob the process, because if we do that, we're only lying to ourselves. So we study up, we watch our film, we record our film, screen recording, we record through sites such as TraderView. Some of you guys might prefer Excel because you can export to Excel and keep track of the data there. Some of you guys might have background using Excel, maybe from other lines of work or maybe school, but it doesn't matter, as long as you're recording your trades and you're looking at the data, right, and you're finding things to be better at. So that's the key. So let's keep working, let's keep grinding, guys. Let's be relentless. I'll check back in on the chat here to see what's going on. Sir Clive, what did I do wrong here in 2020, that red month? Stubbornness. So believe it, the market was actually pretty decent back then, but what was happening was that there was a lot of fake outs at the highs. We would break out by 5 cents, slam down, consolidate a little bit, and then we break out into the highs. And I wasn't patient enough, right? I wasn't patient enough, and I wasn't stubborn, and I was stubborn, too stubborn to say, hey, let's reduce size. Let's take it easy. It was like my very first challenge after going live. And, after a few green months in a row, in my head, all I could think of is like what I was doing was working all along. When we look back at it, what I was doing was working all along. Why is it not working now, right? And actually, let's also do this side. So December 31st. I went live May 1st or so, right? I had a couple of trades in E-Trade, I believe. Hold on. So this was the year, right? 14,000 on the year. And when we come and bring this back before October month, look at the difference here in the numbers. 88 a day. Look at the difference in the numbers right here, guys. We were at 165 a day and at 17,000, and you know, October comes along and completely obliterates everything, destroys us. You know, the numbers took a big hit, man. Took a big hit, and and when you have that kind of month, there's more to it than just that month. When we look at the following months, when we talk about November and December, it took a while to regain confidence. Look at this. So exactly what happened to me essentially at the beginning of this year. Well, for different, not exactly, because it was a different circumstance, of course, but you know, that big loss, you know, it takes a toll, man, and you're hesitating, you're not being as aggressive, you know, there's a lot of different things going in play, and before you know it, you know, you're sideways. Some of it might be the market as well. You're sideways. You're not really making much progress, and so it takes time. So it's better to prevent a red month from happening in the first place. That way we can save 3 months of mental capital, right? Because we don't want to spend all of our capital, become depleted, and then have to regain over time. It's better to be flat and then right back in the green, right? Instead of digging yourself out of a hole, you can start making new highs. So let's see, what else am I missing here from the comments? Cody, what's up? Cody, Ghost, what's going on, guys? Donovan, where do you go if you want to learn about day trading? I have 2 videos that can, and I, you know, for me, I got to get back more on the educational side of things. When I first started, I used to make a lot more educational content, and in fact, I had some free classes that I put out. Class 1, Class 2. Class 1 is going over as all the basics that you would need as a beginner to get started. I went over risk money, the simulation, brokers, a bunch of different things I went over in Class 1. Class 2 was terminologies, because I remember when I was new to trading on Robinhood and stocks were halted, I had no idea what was going on. So I went over terminology, circuit breaker halts, and margin, and all these different things. Class 3, I had done the entire Class 3, and I lost access to that email account. And I had it done for a while. It should have been recorded to YouTube and already posted. I went over that would have been probably the best one. Maybe Class 1 and that Class 3 would have had a competition for each other, but I went over the bull flag, the ABCD, the bear flag, all the different setups, examples of the setups. Everything was laid out, and that was like 2 years ago. And since then, the channel has become more me showing people what I do versus beginner and educational content, which I realized, okay, I got to get back into. There's far too many new traders coming in who are curious about the field, and being that I'm looking to grow the channel, that's the number one thing to be working on and working towards is, you know, more educational content. So Donovan, you can stick around, man, is what I'll say. And I'll post the link for Class 1 and Class 2 so you can check it out in the meantime. I'm not going to send you anywhere else, man. I'm not going to recommend you any other trading community, because right here is a good place to learn. And unlike the other places, I do it all for free, man. All for free. YouTube does compensate me with a bit of ad revenue, which I appreciate, for everyone hitting that thumbs up and that kind of a thing. But all of it is free, man. All of it is free. Let's see. So I'll do. I gotta put in the work. And I was thinking. So I bought this book, right? It's behind me here. You know, planning out the week, right? Planning out the week to make sure I'm more efficient, and having the schedule in place to where, okay, once the market is closed and the recap is done, having that extra video that comes out, right? And treating YouTube with more respect and turning it into more so of a formal job, right? Like, hey, trading is done because once the market closes at 4 and that recap is out, in that time, let's say from like 5, 6 p.m. to 10 o'clock, is where I need to now dedicate that time to YouTube instead of doing anything else, any other streams of income, lollygagging, watching TV, watching the playoffs, all that stuff is nonsense, right? The people who are successful are working even then. They're working that second field, right? There's not just the market and that's it. They're working that second field, and so that's what I got to get back into. The content will come. By the way, I want to show you guys something. I don't know how to look because of the camera, but let me grab it. Where is it? I got a Relentless Trading shirt that I want to show you guys. I'll have it on tomorrow, but I'll have it ready for tomorrow. But I want to show you guys. I don't know how well it'll show in the stream because it is white. Let's see. Let's see, how does that look? I gotta wait for this thing to update. Doesn't look, the R is looking white, but whenever I make the recap, you guys will see, and it'll be in the thumbnail. So I have all these Amazon shirts, like 50 Amazon shirts, but why am I advertising Amazon, right? So I gotta start branding myself a little bit better. And when we talk about an intro and outro videos, it's time to spend some money, man. It's time to reinvest into the channel and get that going. As my younger brothers out there, right? So upwards and onwards, just like with trading, YouTube and the content is coming. But Donovan, check out those videos there. They'll definitely give you a bit of a boost in starting. So we'll take a few more questions and then we'll shut it down for the day. We'll be back tomorrow for a beautiful day in the markets. And if you're new, guys, I go live at 9:15 a.m. Every weekday morning for a stream. I'll do my watch list, talk about my game plan for the day, and we'll get into some live trading as well. TD is free in commissions, but there are other costs for trading with TD. Yeah, there are other costs. And you know what? This is something that I need to do tomorrow. I'll put it on my list, is that I got to call in and get all the fees, because when I did my taxes and well, not my taxes really, when I saw my statements, I was like, well, okay, right? There's a good sized difference in the amount, right? Yeah, so there's a difference, right? I have to also pay for TraderView gold. That way we can see net gains. This number will be down. This number will be down, and when we include taxes as well, it'll be down even more. All right. Let me write that down in my book so I don't forget. For all costs, because there's like cash sweeps, right? They give you an option to choose where you want your money to be stored overnight. There's those type of things going on. They'll be drawing out a couple of cents here. Each trade that we take, I believe there's some sort of fee, man. There's like a service fee, and so it deducts. It's almost like a commission, but not an actual commission, 65K in 3 days? No. Not 65K in 3 days. Breaking even. Yeah, man, I lose a lot of money. So, in the market, this goes to show you guys the amount of risk. This is how much money I've lost as a trader, $122,000. Can you imagine? Imagine if this number here was sliced in half. If my losers were my average losers were smaller and I had a higher accuracy. So am I the best trader alive? No, the answer is no, guys. But I do know it's encouraging because there's so much ways for me to grow, right? And there's different ways to interpretate the stat. When we look at this, it doesn't look good, the win-loss comparison. This number is high because of days like Friday. Let's look at Friday quickly. Yeah, Friday. Let's look at Friday, right? I'm starting the day, I'm down 200, and I'm up $50 after some time. So what does this mean right here? What does this mean? Guys, I had to make back 200 to come flat, right? So think about how much money has passed through the account, and I'm only break even on the day. Now I make $50. Well, it's not quite 50, but let's just say 50. And then it drops down to about 130, let's say. So think about the amount of money that's passing through the account. And then again, so from 130, I go to now making back a couple bucks. I'm down $40. Then I end the day down $12. So days like Friday is why that number is so big. Is that so much money is passed through the account and I haven't seen progress. I wasn't able to retain my earnings. Is a professional way to say it. When we talk about accounting, I wasn't able to retain my earnings. So when we look at the win loss versus days, right here the stats will look much different, a lot better, let's say. So since I've went live throughout all of those days, I have made 99,000 on all my green days, and on my red days I've lost 32,000. So there's a 3-to-1 ratio there in terms of my days, and I'm green 64% of the times. Doesn't this look much better? I think a lot of you guys would agree. But now when we get back to that overall stat, this shows you this right here shows you, to me, this is what when I look at this, it shows me how awesome the market is. It shows me how immense, how vast the market is, how much cash the market, because the saying is 1/3 of the world's wealth passes through the stock market every day. 1/3 of the world's wealth, guys. Here's 190,000 in gains and 122,000 in losses. And so I have to ask myself, can I be better than this? Can I get to the point where we can see the green side accelerating in a much more rapid pace than the red side? Because losses will happen, right? Losses will happen. Being a day trader is like being a boxer. You'll get punched because that's just the nature of it. But can I reduce the risk? Can I block some of those punches? Can I avoid some of those punches? And 80 to 90% of this comes down to discipline, man. Discipline, our good old friend discipline. There are days where the market will just do its own thing. Wednesday I was down 420. I came back. I took a poor trade, down 550 on the day. I had no reason to come back and take that trade. Those are the numbers, the unspoken numbers. What do I do to overcome trauma of a big loss? Good question. So it's all about starting small, right? Sometimes we just got to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off. We're running in a race and we fall. You're running a sprint and you fall down, or you're in a marathon, you fall down. It feels bad. It's devastating mentally. You lost so much progress, but you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off. And for me, I start small. If I'm down 1K tomorrow, even if I just get a $50 green day, $100 green day, I don't need to make it back in one day. But from there, all right, can we now string together a few green days? Because it's all about confidence. Confidence is high, high, high. Boom, big loss. Okay, you might be more hesitant, more gun shy. You might not pull the trigger. You might be more careful, more cautious. All of those things combined. And the next day might be a hot day, but for obvious reasons, you want to be safe. You don't want to, expose yourself to too much risk. So things are kind of, chilled. So small green day, and then gain confidence. So recently when we had PIK, I think I was supposed to show this, but I forgot. March, right here. It's a good stretch, big green day, small losses, a decent green day, 240. And right here I was waiting for the momentum to pick up a little bit more to get aggressive with my share size. PIK came, I'm holding too long. Boom, big red day. I still felt confident because of the bigger green that I had recently, so I gave it another shot again. Down 600. So right here I'm like, all right, man, we got to take it easy. Family drama going on here. Or not really drama, but family emergency, more like it. But 21, 22, no trade days. I come in, and you can see how the losses are decreasing. That's the key. Do I want to be down 230 this day? No. This day should have been $1,000 green day. ALLG was going to the moon, man. I just mentally, I just wasn't here to be aggressive, to be on it. But I had accomplished my mission, which was just a small green day. Small green day. Regain confidence. Regain confidence. You come in, and we had the weekend. You study up. You feel great on Monday, and just like that, we're right back on the saddle. We hit some good, better days. And we go from there, right? We come into April. April has been an awesome month so far. Very consistent overall. I would have loved for Friday to be green, but it wasn't meant to be. So, we'll come back in Monday. We've studied up. We feel good. Our share size will be big. And we'll be looking forward to keeping up this consistency right here, right? This is all aggressive share size coming into the week here on the 12th, the 14th. We're getting aggressive, or we're getting in and out, and we're looking to be doing that consistently moving forward. So that's what it is for me. Oh, David, Friday Night Power. So you switched over. Oh, okay. Name on the Discord. Okay, I got you. David, big shout out, man. Longtime supporter of the channel. Am I happy with the execution speed on Thinkorswim? It could be better. I'm not satisfied with it because I know there's faster platforms out there, and as a competitor, I think they have no reason to not be doing it, even if it means doing it at a very cheap rate. Let's say if they do $1 in, dollar out for direct access routing, I'll sign up, or even 50 cents in, 50 cents out if they say, hey, for those day traders that are on our platforms. Like, for example, Thinkorswim, I would say, doesn't have the best level 2. This is much different from order executions. Order executions is a lot more to do. But why is it that a company like Thinkorswim is not looking at, the DAS trader platforms of the world and seeing what they have and also putting that in place? Because they will, if they have these small things, they can regain more customers. They can have more customers right here if they have these small things. Level 2 is nothing for them. And it's not that they have to take out the one that's there. They can just put 2. Hey, here's an option. Choose between this one and that one. I don't know why they have all the resources. They have everything they need to do that. That's like nothing for them to do. But I don't know. We hear that they cater for investors and that kind of thing, but still, it's like, there's a small percentage of people, and you can gain more customers by doing it. Why not? It's not that hard for them to do, but I guess it is what it is. But I'm not satisfied with it. They can improve upon the execution speeds. Their smart routing is all right, but it can be better. But this is where I think this is a good place to end it. I think we've been going for about 2 hours now. Let's see. I think we've been going for about 2 hours. It's been a good and steady stream. We haven't really lost much viewers. We have 61 likes. I believe a total of 500 views. So between the time that I started streaming, about 500 people. I'm not sure if it includes clicking on and off, but I'm very sure, I believe it's different people. So I do appreciate everyone who's tuning in, hitting that thumbs up button, supporting the channel, coming along to study a little bit, take a look at the metrics. And of course, for the encouragement, because that's what a lot of it is about. Encouraging the traders out there, letting them know that even when the tough months like this come along, that we can always improve, and we can be better over time. When we look at 2021, I had some great months, man. January, February right here, the third week, I had changed my Thinkorswim like in terms of like account numbers. I had a new account. I had like closed my old account, had a new account. I think I had 2 red days this week, and very, very small red days. Very small red days. This whole week was like a scratch week, but I mean, look at the days here, man. Look at week 2. Look at week 2. I mean, this is just absolutely great momentum in the market. And back here, my share size was not that high. And when I look at last week, I was telling myself this. Last week was not a good week. I don't think it wasn't awful, but last week was not that crazy of a week. But the big share size is what really helped me right here to see these kind of days. 1,500, 800, 400. Bigger loss, of course, but that's all right. Um, when we're seeing those days like that in February, this is not with this with that huge share size. So when the market is this consistent, guys, with the amount of size that I'm using now, I think we'll be seeing $2,500 days. It's just what I feel from how the momentum, it's what I'm picking up on. So we'll see. Only time will tell. I'll be very aggressive when those days come along, when it's this hot day in, and when it's this hot like this, when you see these days, it's days where the momentum was there, but I just had a bit of a harder time. These 2 days, 81 and 60. Maybe I needed to trade off the lows instead of being so aggressive with the scalps. 56, 34. And then this is just an excellent month, man. We had a lot of good months last year. This year will be even better. I still believe so. May, a lot of green days there. June, August, October. April wasn't good. April was one of the slower months for me, but still was green overall, I believe. Small in the green. These 2 days definitely helped out with that. 6, 5, 4, 9. So when you have these type of big green days on the month, 2, 184, 130, 86. Let's look at April of 2021, and then we'll shut it down. We're going for a while. We'll shut it down. We don't want to overdo it. I'll let you guys get out of here and get back to your, get back to your lives, right? 2020, geez, 2020. April, when I see Ross is so good with the computer, man. I'm young. Some of you guys are a little older. I'm young and I'm not as fast with typing and good with the hotkeys. Like Ross will go like this and pull up the date and everything like that. But I guess it's just one of those things I could work on. Playing those typing games and those other things that are out there to improve. Well, no, April. Jeez, I typed in April. By the way, these are trades. So before I went live, fully, like officially, my account was building up, right? Because I didn't deposit 25K all at once. So I was taking a few day trades all along. Days where I had 3 trades available, take 1 trade a day, maybe 2. And we had a few green days, which was good coming, especially this one here, coming into May 1st, which was the start of the journey officially. What month was that? What was I looking at? 2021? Jeez, what's wrong with me? 2021. 2021. You guys are probably going to be hearing some background chatter, right? It's Sunday, everyone is home. So it's still a pretty decent month. Pretty solid month for the amount of red days that we had in there, So it adds up. And look at this. 5,000 in losses versus 7,000 in gains. It's why that red column is so big when we look at the win-loss comparison overall. But guys, this is where I'll end it off. So last closing statements. Keep working, keep grinding. 1 day at a time, 1 trade at a time. If you've made mistakes with holding too long, revenge trading, over trading, big blow up losses, know that it's okay. We've all been there. My biggest loss in the sim was 2K. My biggest loss live about 1,100. We've all been there, and it happens to the best of us. But it's not the past that defines you. It's how you move forward that shapes your destiny, man. And so moving forward, that's what we have to look at. How can I be better for tomorrow? Not just with trading, but overall, man. I'm watching myself driving. Like I've been driving too aggressively again. So, it's something I got to remind myself of when I'm on the road, to slow down, take it easy. Looking to be disciplined all around in my relationship, spiritually, with the gym as well. Like I've been going back to the gym and exercising. So with all these things, guys, let's look to be disciplined, not just in our trading, but all around, and we'll see more consistency. So let's look to improve. Let's look to grind, and with hard work and dedication, we can get there. 1 day, 1 trade at a time, guys. It's been Relentless Trader. I appreciate everyone for coming in. Arcane, another long-time supporter of the channel. So Donovan, it's good to see. It's good to see you. I hope you stay here for long with the Relentless Trading community. Ryan, what's up? What's up? Let's see. We had so many people. Darnell, Darnell's an OG here. He's done so much for the Discord. Moderator in the Discord, in the stream. We got to give Darnell a big shout out. Steve as well. Big shout out to those guys. Every day they're in here shouting out the Discord. On top of that, they're also giving good call outs on some stocks. So, I appreciate it. Crescent Moon, how's it going? Crescent Moon is in the building. We had a lot of people chase. So I'll catch you guys. BK, I'll see you in the stream as well tomorrow. Jason, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Nick. And hopefully we see momentum, right? Right now, the way how it is, when I go to bed at night and there's another trading day coming, all I want to do is just wake up. Like, I go to bed and I'm just looking forward to having a good rest and waking up so I can open my eyes and come in and be able to trade. So hopefully this last week in April can be a solid week and we can have a good finish to the month and be ready for May. May, I look forward to May. June, guys, June is my birth month, and so June the sun will be shining on me regardless. Is how I look at it. June, good old June, man. I look forward to June, July. I look forward to the summer months, and let's see. It was a slow start to the year for me, so I hope we see good momentum tomorrow. Let's see how it goes, guys. One day, one trade at a time. Don't forget. And I'll see you guys in the stream tomorrow. 9:15 a.m. sharp. We'll be live and direct, ready to go. So if you are watching on for the last time, hit that thumbs up button. If you are new, consider subscribing to the channel. And I'll catch you guys later. David, that is June, man. That is June. So I'll catch you guys. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay green. Tomorrow will be another day. It's been RT, and I am, of course, signing out.